Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. I noticed that I prefer to color pictures in pairs. After I finish to do something in coloring book, it's quite difficult for me to put the book away and to switch to another book. I immediately want to do another page from the same book. The same thing went to this beautiful book by Lenka Filonenko. I already colored page from Dream Dancers this month. It was a tango couple and I wanted to start this page immediately. I was able to wait for 1 week and finally I decided that I still want to do it. For the background of this picture, I selected a very pale pastel green color. It's like pale pistachio green. I'm using acrylic paint and it's a very cheap Ukrainian brand which costed me probably 50 cents or even less because it's not artist quality, it's for decoration or for painting by numbers, but I was attracted by the beautiful color and I purchased it, and surprisingly it has a quite nice quality and it's creamy and it's even able to mask some black lines. I also have quite similar color in the set of Turner acrylic gouache. It's slightly darker, so in several places I added this slightly darker green, but mostly I did this background with this green color which was called green tea, I believe. I really like to do acrylic backgrounds because it's a very quick way. When I finish to color the one corner of the background, the whole page is almost ready to be colored because acrylic is drying very quickly. I really like how Lenka Filonenko draw beautiful Calla lilies here. I think that she catched pretty well their shape, she did shading really well, but still, as Calla lilies usually are quite pale, I think that I want to mask all black lines, especially those which are outline the shape of flowers. And for this task I will be using acrylic paint again. I need titanium white acrylic paint to mask black lines and to outline my flowers, but also I need somehow to keep shape of the flower. I need slightly darker color which I will be able to use to show that central part of the flower and part where petal is slightly bended outward where it casts shadow on the rest of the petals. So I found another very helpful color in my Amsterdam acrylic paints. It's called Naples Yellow Green Light and it looks like it's beige with light drop of green with a lot of white. If you want to follow me and if you don't have exactly the same color, you can use white as a base, a little bit of yellow and a little bit of green with a lot of white. So in the end you will get very pale yellow-green color. And I will be using this paint to indicate shading on my color lilies. But most important is to mask all black lines, especially the thickest ones. Here I start to apply my Naples yellow-green light in the places where Lenka indicated shading or where I can imagine them, as I said, mostly in the places where petals are slightly bended. For the leaves, I decided to switch from acrylic paints to regular watercolors. On the leaves, I don't mind to have black lines. So I selected two shades of green. One is regular green and the second is olive green, which I mostly use near the tips of the leaves and along the edges. Apart from this olive green and green colors of watercolors, I also blended into green a little bit of burnt umber in places where I wanted to indicate shading. I work in Artist Edition by Lenka Filonenko, the paper quality is excellent. And I am very happy with everything I am using here. My pencils, my acrylic paints, my watercolors. And I think that it's one of the reasons why I just can't stop coloring in this book. I waited for several minutes for my page to dry completely, and now when my lips are dry, I am able to work on top of the watercolor layer with regular colored pencils. I decided to add more green accents to the leaves and also to improve my shading. I selected one Prismacolor Chartreuse, and again this bright green color I will be using mostly on the tips of leaves. And also I decided to use several yellow-green colors from my set of Aqua Blend watercolor pencils. I don't use this set quite often, but it has very nice shades. I think there are 5 of them of various shades of yellow-green pencils from the lightest to the darkest, and here I am using them on top of the watercolor layer to add some colors, to improve shading, to add some additional color accents, and they work on top of the watercolor layer very well. But I also want to deepen my shadows around the dancing lady and especially around my white flowers. To darker area around flowers will help them to pop up. So I will be using my Polychromos Dark Indigo. I love it for doing shading on greens. Today's coloring is quite a mix of pencil brands. Next, I decided to add some color to the central part of Calla lilies. In real life, my favorite variety of these plants are probably clear white, but still I saw very interesting shades, very interesting colors of these flowers, and I remembered that I saw flowers with a purple central part and slightly greenish petals, and I decided to use this color combo for my Calla lilies on this picture. In the central part I put Prismacolor dark purple, and then I work on top of it with Prismacolor white. You know that white Prisma on top of the dark Prisma pencils create a very nice pastel halo, and I will be using this method to move to create this beautiful color gradient from dark purple to the more pastel colors by using blending and lightening with a white prisma. To do more prominent shadows on the petals, I will be using pale sage pale sage, some I can also put on top of the dark purple. They create some natural shading, but they really help me to show the structure of the flower and how petals are curved and bended. On the first step I used only dark purple, pale sage and white. I liked the result which I got, but still something was missing, and I remembered about lime peel, and I decided to risk and to add this bright yellow-green color to the flowers, and I thought that it really helped me to create a very interesting look of the Calla lilies. To the area around petal I also used a little bit of black cherry, but I still want my flowers to be very tender, so if I felt that I used too dark or too bright color, I immediately layered another layer of white color on top of the overly bright color, and white pencil really helped me to create this very pastel shading on the petals. I was very pleased with the start of my coloring. I already have some ideas about color of the dress of my beautiful dancer to match color of the Calla lilies, so I hope that in the second part I will be able to show you the finished picture.